Hello and welcome, everyone. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Adam Cellini. Topping our news tonight, the government shutdown and subsequent blame game happening up in Washington. Democrats and Republicans pointing the fingers at each other. ABC's Karen Travers brings us the latest from the White House.
The White House says its position is firm. There will be no negotiations on DACA until the government reopens, and it's up to Senate Democrats to make that happen.
The Senate Democrats are basically conducting a two-year-old temper tantrum in front of all the American people.
Earlier this morning, this sarcastic tweet from President Trump. "This is the one-year anniversary of my presidency, and the Democrats wanted to give me a nice present."
Happy anniversary, Mr. President. Your wish came true. You wanted to shut down. The Trump shutdown is all yours.
Uncertainty in Washington and across the country after the Senate failed to get enough Democrat support to end debate on yet another stopgap federal budget bill. Even some Republican senators voting no.
They want to deal on immigration, and then they'll think about reopening the government.
Democratic lawmakers say they won't pass a spending bill unless they get guaranteed protections for Dreamers, the nearly 800,000 undocumented immigrants brought to the U.S. as children.
Negotiating with this White House is like negotiating with Jell-O. It's next to impossible.
The shutdown furloughs 800,000 federal workers and defers pay for many military personnel. But this weekend, it's already impacting some Americans, including Tulsa Mitrovich, who planned to visit the Statue of Liberty National Park.
Well, my mom actually reserved ahead of time, tickets, and so when we got here today, we were super stoked to go, and they were like, no, it's shut down due to the government, and we were like, no thank you, that's rude.
Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
So how does that government shutdown affect Floridians and those here on the Sun Coast? Well, ABC 7's Erica Jackson shows us what some are saying could happen here in Sarasota and Manatee counties.
One worry for some local families will be income. Many worried if they'll be paid during the shutdown.
Will we get paid so we can pay our bills, or do we now stress about that too?
Manatee County Veterans Council Chairman Carl Hunsinger has been hearing this question all day. After staying up to see if Congress could pass a budget, he's now relaying what he knows to thousands of veterans in Manatee and Sarasota counties.
We expect those that we put into office to do their job. And then we expect them to be a bipartisan player in doing their job.
Essential employees will continue to work through the shutdown. That includes active duty military, and their families will likely feel the impact if it continues past payday next month.
There's no guarantee that this won't continue on this shutdown through February 1st, so everybody should plan accordingly.
Here at the local level, are you going to feel it? Probably not, because we don't have a lot of federal offices.
State Representative Joe Gruder says most people on the Sun Coast won't be affected by the shutdown. Americans will still get Social Security checks, residents will still get mail through the U.S. Postal Service, and travel officials like the TSA won't be impacted. Pay will be deferred for federal employees still working through the shutdown.
And people have bills to pay, people have mortgages, people have car payments, credit card payments, and a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, even in the federal government.
You still need your security people, you need your maintenance people to maintain stuff.
Former Congressman Dan Miller was part of the government shutdown in 1995 and 1996. He says there are no positives to the shutdown, and the prolonged disagreement between both parties will likely cost the country more money in the long run as it plays catch up.
Well, right now they're going to decide who's to blame, and all of a sudden whoever feels they're getting the blame the most, they'll say, all right, well, let's get it over with and find a compromise.
The shutdown could also affect national parks like DeSoto National Memorial, and passport renewals won't be available until operations return to normal. Reporting in the newsroom, Erica Jackson, ABC 7, your Suncoast News.
All right, thank you very much, Erica. Well, if you're looking for a little relief from all of that stress, you can just step outside. Another beautiful Saturday here on the Sun Coast. Let's head over to Wendy Ross for a check on that first alert weather forecast. Wendy.
Adam, it looked as though it should have been colder than it actually was. So we saw a warm up across the area despite all the cloudiness. And now we're getting just a couple of light showers that are moving across our region. And all of this wet weather is going to be with us for another couple of hours. So if you're heading out the door in the next couple of hours, just keep in mind it is not going to be enough to slow you down. We are expecting less than a quarter-inch amounts, and it's very widely scattered. But we're going to get those clouds. They're going to stay with us, and we are going to continue to see these over the next couple of hours, just coming on in from the Gulf of Mexico, and then things are going to clear out, and we are going to be left with a nice experience for tomorrow, which we'll talk about a little bit more in some detail a little bit later on. 63 degrees right now. The winds are calm at this point. Still some cloudy weather out there. And as you walk out the door tonight, you are going to be looking at those temperatures staying right in the 50s, in the upper 50s for the next several hours. We're just going to keep those clouds on top of us just like a blanket. We'll talk about what we can expect for the rest of the weekend. That's coming up in just a few minutes. Adam?
All right, thank you very much, Wendy. Well, Sarasota firefighters had to help put out a structure fire earlier today. Sarasota County Emergency Services says crews were on scene around 12:30 p.m. for a 2-alarm fire off of Tower Lane near the interstate. Firefighters managed to put that blaze out soon after arriving on scene. Officials say there are no injuries, and the cause of that fire is unknown at this time.
We're taking a look at that right now as far as how much fire damage in one of the units. Unit number 7 was the one that was involved. We do have smoke damage within the other units, so we need to evaluate all of that before we can tell you how much damage there was to the building overall.
And the state fire marshals are also on scene investigating the cause of that incident. And new tonight, a response from a Bradenton fire chief to protesters who were questioning his leadership over the last 4 years. Chief Jeffrey Hoyle, who leads 57 employees in the Cedar Hammock Fire District, was the target of a protest before a board meeting that happened this past Thursday. A group of 11 former firefighters and family of current firefighters speaking out against Chief Hoyle's treatment of his employees, including one who they say was wrongfully terminated a few months ago.
The issues are unfair treatment of the firefighters, violations of their rights, which all firefighters in this county, the next county, have.
Now today, Chief Hoyle sent ABC7 a detailed response, part of which states the district's administration followed proper protocol in ultimately terminating the employee. Steps were taken in good faith to work with the employee to address and correct the issues with abundant notice, patience, and opportunities. Chief Hoyle goes on to say that that termination was the first in over 25 years for that fire district. A new Manatee County magnet school celebrating its ribbon-cutting ceremony today. Rowlett Elementary Academy was the first magnet school in Manatee County. Rowlett then opened its middle school in August of last year. The academy offers unique programs in the arts, communications, and leadership categories. Former principal Brian Flynn says the school is very excited to continue and expand its programs into a middle school setting.
For years, as the principal, I kept hearing from my parents, we love the elementary school. We would like to see the same themes, the same culture continued into a middle school setting. And when we converted to a charter school, that allowed us the opportunity to develop a middle academy.
Flynn added that the expansion is important for middle school students because Rowlett offers a small classroom setting which can help adolescents through the physical and emotional changes they experience at that middle school age. Well, if you're looking for good food, live music, and a wide range of art, the Sarasota Seafood Festival is going on this weekend. The 3rd annual event starting today and continues tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. This year, the festival is at a new location in downtown Sarasota at Gulfstream and Main Street. You can enjoy fresh seafood from local restaurants and listen to some of Florida's top musical groups performing live on a stage. There's also a marketplace of arts, crafts, and fine products that you just won't find anywhere else.
We came out, we were very excited because it's the first seafood festival we've been to since we've lived here. We moved here almost 2 years ago, and then the art part of it too. Our youngest daughter is an artist, so wanted to experience that.
General admission to that event and those live musical performances is free, as well as parking in downtown Sarasota. You can also buy VIP tickets at the gate. So check it out for some delicious seafood. Why not? Well, still to come here on ABC 7, more than 250 women's marches happening today across our nation. Why they're happening on the president's 1-year anniversary. Plus, what thousands of people gathered to protest about right here on the Suncoast.
All right, crew, let's get started. Sure.
Don't ignore the law. You must call 811 at least 2 to 3 days before any digging project so you can avoid hitting our essential buried utilities. For digging projects big or small, make the call to 811.
Coast Guard, we are taking on water.
The United States Coast Guard. They secure our ports and waterways, protect our environment, keep drugs away from our kids, and save lives. It's dangerous work. And in times of triumph or tragedy, the Coast Guard Foundation answers the call to support Coast Guard members and their families. Learn more at coastguardfoundation.org.
Together of all ethnic background from different places, community and out of state, and we're coming together to learn how to release, restore, and improve our status in Jesus Christ.
It just brings all of us women together. We're going through like problems. We're able to establish friendships. Sisterhoods are formed.
Sunday morning at 7:30 on ABC 7.
Everything all right?
Actually, you know how Tom had knee surgery?
Sure.
We found out Brad's been taking his painkillers. And it turns out he's been doing it for a while.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
Army National Guard soldiers serve to give back to their country and their community. Their part-time commitment qualifies them for benefits such as health and life insurance, education benefits, and retirement and VA home loan benefits. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
Welcome back. A big day across the country on the one-year anniversary of President Trump's inauguration. Tens of thousands across our country taking to the streets. Zachary Quiche tells us why they were there and the message behind those marches.
Described as positive but also strong and defiant by those who attended and fueled by issues like the Me Too movement.
It's been society's dirty little secret, let's be honest. It was always there. But the exposure has shown the extent.
And desire to show the spark that started last year still burns.
And I'm here to stand up for my rights with my fellow women. Everybody faces the world in a different way, and I'm here to stand up for all those people.
They marched in lockstep from Washington, D.C. to Chicago, west to L.A., and right here in New York.
It's good to stand up against hate and, love wins in the end. And I think it's important that we all come together and set our differences aside.
I want equality for everybody. I don't care what you are, where you come from. I want everyone to be equal.
Touting his achievements related to women's unemployment, President Trump tweeted in part, "Get out there. Get out there now to celebrate historic milestones."
Make no mistake about it. Women will be the reason this administration ends on January 19th, 2020.
Marchers also talking about less talked about issues like income inequality at more than 600 marches around the country and around the globe. In New York, I'm Zachary Quiche, ABC News.
And that march stopping right here on the Suncoast. Thousands gathering in downtown Sarasota to voice their concerns and their issues they have with our current government administration. Nearly 30 local activist groups co-sponsored that March for Democracy today. People of all ages, races, and sexes protesting more than just women's rights.
People are disgusted with our government. We're a very poor role model for the world now. We've abdicated our leadership role. in the world. And it's a sad thing to say because you see these American flags out here, these people love our country. I do too. There's just, what's going on is wrong.
Now another protest march is slated for 1 p.m. tomorrow at 5 Points Park in Sarasota. And Wendy, you can see the clouds a little bit out there today. Kind of an overcast day, but not uncomfortable. I thought it was actually temperature-wise lovely.
The temperatures finally came up. It looked like it was supposed to be colder than it was. You know, it was just one of those raw-looking days, but it actually was much warmer today with our temperature highs back up in the upper 60s. And we are going to continue to see this warming trend starting tonight and into tomorrow. Cloudy and mild for the next 24-hour to 48-hour period. We have widespread light rains taking place right now, but it will be a beautiful, beautiful Sunday. So today we got up to a high of 67 degrees. 48 was the overnight low. Normally we're 71 and 52, and we are going to see those temperatures get high once again tomorrow, back up into the mid to upper 70s. Right now we've got readings mostly in the mid 60s, and over the next several hours we're going to see our temperatures staying right around 58, 59 degrees. Those clouds are going to act as a blanket for us, and we will continue to see the cloud cover through the early morning hours, right around 1 o'clock in the morning, before we start to see finally some clearing conditions for tomorrow morning starting out. And so tonight, cloudy sweater weather. You can see all those clouds still situated on top of us. We've been getting some rain showers coming on in. It's the nuisance kind of rain. You know, you have to turn on your windshield wiper every once in a while just to get things cleared out, but it's not heavy rains, and we're not expecting to see a whole lot more developing. We'll get the showers coming on through here, and they're going to be very light, moving off towards the east coast before they start to clear things out completely, and that will take place during the overnight time period. But if you've been getting any rain showers, you're noticing that they're not holding together very well, and we're expecting less than a quarter of inch of rain for the rest of tonight. Now we are going to get the clouds coming back on through. There's the possibility of some fog developing as well for the overnight time period, but we are looking at things clearing up for us during the overnight and into tomorrow morning. It's going to be just another beautiful day. In fact, our futurecast is showing all the clouds that are situated right on top of us right now, but then as we put this into motion, you'll notice that things start to clear out. We still have a couple of showers along the east coast of Florida. Tomorrow they could see some showers developing as well, but we are going to be looking at some very nice conditions. And you'll see this line right here. This is the next cold front that's going to be coming on through. It is west of Texas right now. It's going to be moving across the state of Texas. By Tuesday, it's going to be on our doorstep, and it's going to be responsible for changing up our forecast in the middle of the week. But for the rest of this night and into tomorrow, we're looking at daytime highs during the afternoon, climbing up from 75 to 77 degrees, and then we'll start to get a few more clouds during the afternoon hours. But for the morning hours, we're going to be seeing a steady rise in temperatures and lots of sunshine. So rain is not going to be a feature in our forecast tomorrow. 63 degrees right now, cloudy conditions. If you're heading off to the beach, winds will be out of the northeast to 10 knots, seas 1 to 2 feet, with a light chop out on the bay and inland waters. And this is what we can expect over the next several days. Mild conditions for tomorrow, lots of sunshine. The next cold front starts to make its way across the Gulf of Mexico. We'll be here on Tuesday. We will feel it on Wednesday. Cooler weather coming on in, and then we start the warm-up all over again. Adam?
Now, sports.
Well, questions are swirling over whether Tom Brady will be playing in the AFC Championship tomorrow against Jacksonville. Is it possible the Jaguars can avoid the 4-time Super Bowl MVP? Well, Zachary Quiche has the latest on Brady's rumored hand injury.
How's your hand?
Not talking about it. Doing their best to duck and dodge, something Tom Brady has made a living of doing to defenders on the gridiron.
Brady slips away.
The star quarterback and head coach Bill Belichick faced the media Friday, well, sort of.
I don't know.
Brady reportedly jammed his throwing hand in practice on Wednesday. The media has not seen Brady throw since the injury. They haven't even seen the hand. Wearing red gloves, it went something like this.
Why are you wearing gloves for the press conference? I've worn them before.
This isn't the first time there's been speculation around Brady's health before a big game. Back in 2008, in this TMZ video, he was spotted wearing a walking boot before the Super Bowl, a game the New England Patriots lost after a 19-0 season. The Patriots will face the Jacksonville Jaguars in the AFC title game Sunday, and for many Pats fans, the prospect of playing without their franchise QB has ignited a frenzy. Social media is having a field day, coining the hashtag Glovegate.
If you don't have Tom Brady, my goodness, it's almost like the Patriots, literally wouldn't have their right arm. He seems to get better and better with age.
Teammate Danny Amendola said he, quote, thought he caught a ball from Brady in practice Friday. How'd he look?
Like Tom Brady.
The team's latest injury report lists the quarterback as questionable, exhibiting the kind of composure you'd only expect from a man chasing his 6th Super Bowl ring. There were no cracks in his armor.
You confident you'll be at the top of your game on Sunday, physically capable?
We'll see.
Well, on to the NBA and an action-filled Saturday. We start with a matchup with plenty of superstars happening up in Cleveland. LeBron and the Cavaliers hosting the reigning MVP Russell Westbrook and the Oklahoma City Thunder. The first-half MVP, though, was Paul George, the former Pacer, weaving through traffic for an easy 2 right there. Also lighting it up from three-point range. George helping the Thunder score 43 first-quarter points. They had a 19-point lead after that first buzzer. Cavs trying to get back into it. Dwayne Wade, LeBron James hooking up on a classic alley-oop that we saw form up in Miami, but the Cleveland defense non-existent. They get throttled at home, 148 to 124. Florida State men's basketball on the road against Virginia Tech today, but it was a homecoming for freshman guard MJ Walker with family from the Petersburg area. Walker showing out for that family, scoring a career-high 24 points off the bench for the Seminoles. He was 8 for 13 on the floor, including 4 three-pointers, and helped Florida State pick up their first road win in the ACC so far this season, 91-82, the final score there. Well, it's beginning to feel a lot like spring training, especially around Lecom Park up in Bradenton. Ticket offices opening at 10 a.m. for the Pirates' 50th spring training season here in town, and that line started forming about an hour before those offices even opened. Spring training starts February 24th with the one and only visit from the New York Yankees, a hot ticket for sure.
It's a nice time. The only trouble is, a lot of your good players that you really want to see aren't on the field long enough, because they want the younger ones to see what they're going to be capable of, So, but it's still a good time, especially for the grandchild.
Now, the Pirates had a record 106,291 fans come out to 17 home games last season. And before you ask, no, Tim Tebow and the Mets are not scheduled to come to Bradenton this spring training, at least not the big league team. But more to come here on ABC 7. Stay with us.
Fact: the top 3 Marriott hotels in North and South America are on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, according to a recent survey of 363 Marriott hotels. The Marriott at Grand National, the Marriott Shoals Hotel, and the Grand Hotel. And 2 of the top 3 Renaissance hotels are also on the trail: Ross Bridge in Birmingham and the Battle House in Mobile. Southern hospitality still rules. For reservations or information, visit rtjgolf.com/resorts.
Thank you. You got a king?
Go fish!
It only takes a moment to make a moment. Take time to be a dad today.
I witnessed him have 2 heart attacks in ICU. He went through seizures.
We'd much rather have Aaron like this than dead. A lot of parents don't have that luxury.
He can't talk. He can't walk. This is a condition Aaron will live with for the rest of his life because he abused prescription pills.
Mind your meds. Learn more from the Partnership for Drug-Free Kids.
A promise was made, a promise that hit the beaches of Normandy, a vow that captured Iwo Jima, a contract that weathered Tet, a pledge that stormed the desert in Iraq, an IOU that braved IEDs in Kandahar, A promise was made to America's veterans. DAV fights to keep that promise, so all veterans and their families get the benefits and support they earned. For help, visit DAV.org.
To be able to just get my son here and not think about how we will pay for it, it just takes so much weight off of my family. St. Jude allowed me to focus on being a mom to Bryce. And sometimes I'm just in awe of the impact St. Jude has, not only on this community, but the world.
Soldiers in the Army National Guard live up to a set of time-honored principles.
I will always place the mission first.
They stand ready to respond to any crisis.
I will never accept defeat.
They serve in their communities as citizens and as soldiers.
I will never quit.
They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times.
I will never leave a fallen comrade.
Learn more at nationalguard.com.
ABC 7, your official Florida lottery station for the Suncoast.
Well, Wendy, things are warming up later in the week, but you could still wear those boots and sweaters that I know you've been dying to wear this whole winter season.
Yes, you can.
Tonight's the night.
Because we've got another cold front coming through, but that doesn't take place for another couple of days. In the meantime, tonight we're still going to see our temperatures in the upper 50s, and so as the night wears on, we still have some cloud cover, maybe a stray.
It's been about a month, and I can honestly say I've seen the change in me. I went from being a depressed girl who didn't want help to this happy, caring girl who loves helping other people. I just really hope that people that went through what I went through get the help that they need, because their story is important and they are loved. Thank you so much for everything.